Greetings, folks. Ealer here with the next installment in this channel series of World of Warships Interview. To me, an important and positive aspect of the game is its open nature, welcoming anyone to play, regardless of background or capacity. To that end, I thought it would be valuable to get the perspective of the game from someone who considers themselves a casual player. Our guest today has been a longtime viewer of the channel, so I'm honored to introduce World of Warships player One-Eyed Potato. Welcome, One-Eyed.
Thanks, Elar. Glad to be here.
So let's open with the background and meaning of your in-game name.
Well, it wasn't my original name in the game, but it kind of came out of after I was watching the game and I started getting experienced. Um, I started getting a little bit better at the game, and I consider myself kind of an average player. Yeah, I only play casually, so I'm not particularly good. But I started finding myself kind of the one-eyed man in the land of blind men. And one night I realized, hey, potatoes have eyes, and there you go. A new in-game name. So I changed my in-game name to One-Eyed Potato.
Very cool. So let's talk a little bit about the match that we're watching. What is this match and what does it mean to you?
Well, it was memorable to me because it was my first Kraken. I've gotten a number of times where I've gotten 4 kills in a match, but that fifth kill's always been elusive to me. Uh, I have kind of a history of overextending, and I've been making a point recently of kind of trying to stay with the team and not YOLO in prematurely. And it paid off in this. I managed to get a crack in. I didn't do really anything particularly great numbers or anything, but I served the team well and made it through the end of the match and managed to get the crack in. I think the team played well together, and I think I played well with the team.
So how would you characterize your playing background and experience in the game?
Well, I'm a casual player, like you were saying earlier. I never going to be, a competitive player. I don't think. I mean, I get better. I hope to continue getting better. But for me, it's a chance to relax and just do something with friends. The average day, I only play maybe a match or two. I usually play right after I put the kids to bed. It gives me something I can do quietly with my friends while the kids are falling asleep, and just kind of unwind at the end of the day.
When you play the game, do you have your kids play with you or do they watch what you're playing sometimes? I realize you said that you do this after you've got them to bed, but maybe on the weekends or during a holiday, do they happen to see you playing and do they participate in some way?
Oh, my children are very young. My oldest just turned 8, and my youngest is 5, so they don't play yet. They certainly are. They see me playing World of Warships from time to time, although not very often. I usually won't play if they're around. They see me actually watching, like your channel, watching YouTube videos, and they went with me to the Anchors Away event on the USS Massachusetts a couple weeks ago. So they're kind of participating a little bit from the periphery, but they don't play directly.
How did you discover World of Warships and when did you start playing the game?
I got into World of Warships when one of my friends in real life is actually the gentleman that was playing with me in the division in the replay. He'd suggested it to me for since the late '90s. I've been active in a club that the Mid Atlantic Battle Group that builds remote control warships with operating cannons that fire steel ball bearings at each other, and they actually sink each other in competition. And he'd known I'd done that for years and years, and he thought I would really love World of Warships, so he recommended it to me. And I really enjoyed it, and then basically I started recruiting other people that were in the Mid Atlantic Battle Group to kind of join up, and that's what the division is. Actually, I guess you probably can see it in the replay. My clan is MABG for Mid Atlantic Battle Group, and we're just a group of casual players that are friends, actually in the real world, and do these remote control boats together. And we just play World Warships together too.
How does the your activity in this battle group influence which ships you choose to play, if at all?
In my case, I guess it had a pretty heavy influence. In the remote control boat club, we're allowed to build any ship that was at least laid down. You can't do pure paper designs. And it turns out HMS Lion, the Tier 9 British battleship, is was actually laid down. They only got a couple thousand tons of steel down, but they actually started construction. And I've had that boat since I think I finished my remote control HMS Lion around 2000. So, of course, when the British battleship line came out, I was charging up that as quick as I could to get HMS Lion. Similarly, I've got Scharnhorst because my first RC boat was uh, I called it Nice now, but it was Scharnhorst class, and it was armed like the Scharnhorst in World of Warships. So it certainly has some influence. But in the end, I play, what I enjoy playing more than anything else.
So, given the availability that you mentioned earlier, how many matches have you been able to pocket so far?
Well, I'm still, I guess, a relative newcomer to the game. I've only got about 700 or so random matches. I've got quite a few more co-op matches because I end up playing a lot more co-op. I've got more than 2,000 co-op matches, but so I'm still learning.
What is it about co op that is interesting to you or you enjoy playing?
Well, like I said, I play to relax, and I also, you know, I am often on daddy duty, or sometimes actually playing at the office before I head home because that's when I know I'm going to have some time. I might have people stepping in and interrupting me at any time. So I won't play random unless I know I can really fully pay attention to the game because I just don't think it's fair to my team to be in a competitive match and might be pulled away and by a little kid coming in the room or something. So that's the main reason I play co-op more than any other. One of my personal friends from the boat club is also has difficulty with hand-eye coordination, and so she doesn't play random matches very often. And so I'll play co-op when she's divisioning up with me as well.
Well, that is one reason that I have particularly liked World of Warships and the fact that it's sort of this open community that allow anyone to play and should be able to play without judgment or assessment. So I like the fact that you have somebody that you play with that may have some challenges. You mentioned hand-eye coordination. I've played with other players that have had similar challenges, and again, this is a part for me that's very important about the game. So we mentioned class as a ship that you like to play, or at least you liked playing the Lion because that was a ship that you actually built. What do you tend to play most of the time as far as ship lines and classes of ship?
Well, I bounce around a fair bit. I actually like the diversity in the game. I guess at the time that this replay was recorded, I was really focusing on battle cruisers. I've had HMS Hood for a long time, and I recently got Vanguard and Prince Idle Friedrich. So I was focusing on them a little bit. The AP buff for Hood was also interesting to me. I've been a little frustrated with the Royal Navy battleships short fuse armor piercing. It's definitely hard. It makes them a little trickier to use against other battleships. Um, so those are ships I've been playing a lot recently. If I think of it like a fun ship, I really liked HMS Fiji. I haven't played her a whole lot since I've moved further up the line because I'm trying to focus more on commanders lately. But so maybe I don't know. Maybe after the CV work, she's not as enjoyable. But I always did like the kind of concept of the portable cover, the short fuse AP. While it's frustrating in battleships, it's really awesome against destroyers and cruisers. And then having that torpedo for someone that decides to charge your smoke is pretty nice too. Um, yeah, so I kind of float around a little bit.
So, what do you like most about playing World of Warships and why? Although you may have referenced some of this already.
Well, for me, the variety of ships is awesome. I mean, as a kind of a naval warship enthusiast, I don't know if buff's the right word, but certainly an enthusiast, I just find the diversity of ships amazing, and the models are absolutely incredible. The detail that the wargaming staff puts into these models, their art department can't get enough praise from me. The ships look great. Um, I also really like that I can make meaningful progress in the game with just short bits of time. Like I said, I'm usually only able to play for a very little bit of time each evening. In other games I've played, you can't make any meaningful progress in a half hour or an hour. And I really like that about World of Warships. They do a really good job of kind of keeping it useful or meaningful for people to move forward up in the line.
One-Eyed, you've also mentioned to me an aspect that you like about naval battles. Do you want to give us some background on that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's another one of those things I think doesn't get a lot of conversation in the community, but I know my clan that I play with, a bunch of casual players, we are loving naval battles, and we do it every week. It's something we look forward to as a group. We're casual players. We're not competitive. We're never going to be competing in clan wars in any significant way. I'd be amazed if we could even get a team together on the schedule that they have, and having some kind of a competition that we can work on as a team on our own schedules without having to get everybody synced up time wise has been really, really fun and just a blast. I'm so glad that Wargaming added that to the game.
Are there aspects of the game that you maybe straight up dislike or at least would like to see changed, and why?
Well, I would like it to be a little easier to play mid-tier ships after you move up. I mentioned Fiji earlier. I really liked Fiji a lot, um, but I didn't focus on commanders early enough, so I had to have I don't have enough decent commanders to have a decent commander in every ship I might want to play. So as I moved up the line, my commander moved with me. So I don't really have anybody that I can put in Fiji casually without, paying for the cost of retraining. It would be really awesome if there was like some way to make the ship elite even for one commander, just so I could play it a little bit more. So that's certainly something I would enjoy seeing changed. I understand that that they have to have premium ships to make games, but in my case, I'd pay some doubloons to be able to put my Royal Navy cruiser commander be able to be reassigned to Fiji when I wanted. Um, and I guess the other thing, I think the in-game chat could use some TLC from Wargaming. It sounds like they're starting to focus on it a little bit. I saw some stuff in the developer blog this week, but it's really annoying when you got somebody in chat that died, in the first minutes of the game, and then they spend the rest of the game spamming the chat, you know, basically annoying everybody and distracting everybody on the team, and not really contributing anything. It'd be nice if there was maybe some more options, something like maybe if I muted the player in chat and they're dead, maybe I could by default automatically mute them for everybody else, because probably everybody else is getting tired of them too. But yeah, I think those are probably some of the big things I would like.
As a player whose skills and playstyle are evolving, what advice would you have for newer players?
Well, in my case, I mentioned this before too. I didn't pay enough attention to commanders. I really didn't appreciate how advantageous some of those skills are. Some of the skills like radio location and inertial fuse, high explosive, just really give you a lot more options. And there's really no way to get similar capability, through signals or anything else. And I really wish I'd focused on having fewer higher level commanders earlier on. Um, and I also definitely certainly didn't appreciate the whole value of having rank 19 commanders earning that elite commander experience, which helps with retraining and everything else. So I think that's one thing I would tell new people: don't ignore commanders, because it's easy to miss in the game, and it's really important later on, especially at higher tier ships. I also would just say find a group of people that want to play the game like you do. Don't just join a clan to join a clan, or find people that are going to play like you do. If you want to play competitive, find a really competitive group of people. If you're like me and you're just playing in the evenings to blow off steam, find some people that want to play casually, because those two groups of people are going to kind of get frustrating to each other. And you want to enjoy playing with the people that you're going to be divisioning up with on a regular basis.
We've been speaking with One-Eyed Potato about his background and experience playing World of Warships. One-Eyed, I want to thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad to be here. I think it's kind of exciting that you're trying to show the game from different points of view. I love your channel and looking forward to the content
Well,
that comes out in the coming months.
well, thank you very much. And I want to thank our audience as well for watching and listening in. We welcome nominees for interviews on the channel. Perhaps you know someone with an interesting background that has brought them to World of Warships, or with interesting experience in the game. To reach us, please send us a mail to the email address listed under the About section of the channel. If you enjoy the channel's content and are so inclined, I also invite you to subscribe as well. With that, please do leave your comments below, and as always, we hope to see you out there, and we wish you happy sailing.